Welcome to episode 9 of this summer's limited podcast series, 100 Days of Mothman, brought to you by the Caffeinated Cryptid Podcast Network. All summer long, we're diving deep with eyewitnesses, paranormal researchers, scientists, and filmmakers to explore the mystery, madness, and legacy of the Mothman. Episode 9 zooms out from the winged omens to towering forest legends and brings in a fresh perspective. My guest this week is Brett Eichenberger, the filmmaker behind A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed, and A Flash of Beauty, Paranormal Bigfoot, which blend haunting eyewitness testimony with thoughtful exploration of Bigfoot's place in culture and folklore. In this episode, Brett and I compare the Bigfoot phenomenon with the Mothman mystery, the folklore, the encounters, the emotional weight that these sightings leave on those who report them, and the question of whether these creatures like Sasquatch and Mothman are misunderstood wildlife, paranormal visitors, or potent cultural symbols. We dig into the parallels and the differences between the two mysteries of America's most enduring legends. And of course, I am Bobby, host of the Caffeinated Cryptid Podcast Network, and this is episode 9 of 100 Days of Mothman. You can watch the full video on YouTube or listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, and several other of your favorite audio apps. Or catch the whole series anytime at Mothman100.com. And do not forget to do me a favor and like, subscribe, follow, and share. Let your friends know. It helps me more than you know. There's just one episode left after this one, guys. Get your popcorn ready for Bigfoot versus Mothman on episode 9 of 100 Days of Mothman.
Yeah, and it's all connected. I mean, people are experiencing this kind of stuff with all of this phenomena.
Thought it was very interesting that Tara was saying in her long form interview about the wood knocks not being an actual Bigfoot, but another entity.
Yeah,
that was clever.
We've heard that before from a couple of other people, mostly Native Americans. What's so interesting about Tara, we haven't talked about this a lot in public, is Tara gave us a lot of this information. So we sat on that interview for like 2 years before we put it out because we wanted to save it for the sequel. But what happened was as we continued to make the sequel and traveled around the country, we were just getting confirmation after confirmation from other folks about what she was saying was correct. And the thing about Tara that's super interesting to me is she was an outsider. She just did, like she says in the interview, she's a straight shooter. She had no interest in Bigfoot. It just wasn't her thing. You know, clearing spirits and being a psychic medium was her gift, and Bigfoot was an afterthought. And, you know, so it's not like, you know, I feel extremely confident that she hadn't sat down and done a lot of research on Bigfoot to fabricate some of this stuff. I mean, I truly believe that what she's saying is what she's getting.
It's very akin to the, I had to look it up, Dr. Robert Pyle, his shtick, not shtick for lack of a better term, but his story about how he went in, you know, he was dyed in the wool. I can't think of what an insect biologist is right now, even though I've had one on this show multiple times. But you know, but he goes in, he comes out like they're real men, and they're not what you think they are. Yeah, I love that movie, Dark Divide.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
And when she was describing the putting the hands, was it they laid their hands on their hands or their heads to talk to Native Americans?
Yeah, like
their hands,
something like this.
Oh, really?
I think so. Cool. Yeah, like they would sit together and put their hands on top of each other.
Got some Vulcan going on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing, you know, you hear, and you won't go any further. Nobody will go any further into it once you start there. Everybody wants it to be, they want to sit out game cameras. They want to put an apple on a tree. Like I don't even go to Bigfoot conventions anymore because I'm tired of just empty peanut butter jars. Yeah. That's all you ever have, even though those are cool.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's different out here in the Northwest, I think, you know, and we haven't been to really any of the Southern conventions as far as that goes. We did do Nebraska, some Midwest, but in the Northwest, what's really interesting, what we're seeing now, the Bigfoot conventions that were the APER conventions are now really trending towards the paranormal. People are just becoming that much more comfortable talking about it. And it's making guys like Cliff Barackman and Dr. Meldrum squirm quite a bit. You know, and the rest of us are standing around going, it happened. You know, I'm not going to pretend it didn't happen. You know what I mean? And we've had these experiences ourselves. So, you know, I mean, we might be crazy, but I don't think we are.
The ones I've talked to don't want to have those experiences. That's just what happens.
Exactly. Nobody asks for any of this stuff. And frankly, most of our Bigfoot witnesses never asked to see Bigfoot. You know, they were minding their P's and Q's, you know, driving down the road, hiking in the woods, doing whatever, you know, and they had this experience. Todd Neese is that great example where he was military training. He saw 3 Bigfoot. It was the last thing he expected to see. He didn't believe in them before. And he's looking at something he's trying to make sense from, you know, a logical perspective. And he knows what he's looking at, you know. Same thing with Rich Germeau. You know, he didn't care. And here's one walking in front of him, you know, while on duty. And his job is to protect the citizens of that village, of that town. And he sees it as a threat, and it raises alarm bells, you know. So that story just goes on and on and on and on and on. We get comments on YouTube about that kind of stuff all the time, and people contact us privately about it. And the paranormal is right there with it.
Always. I like Todd Neese's, because he thought what are civilians doing up here? And his brain just wouldn't register what he was seeing.
Which is exactly how it works. You know, we've seen their eye glow before. You know, that like internal eye glow, not the flashlight eye glow.
It's like the moth in our video here.
Exactly, just like Mr. Mothy here. And in fact, it looked just like that. Although they look more like Christmas lights or something. And you're looking at them, and you're surrounded by guys, you know, who have had multiple sightings, and you're trying to rationalize it. You're going, all right, how are they doing this? You know, and being filmmakers, we tend to think in those types of terms. Like how, you know, if we were going to do visual effects practically, meaning not using CGI, how would we do it? How would we fake it? Would we string lights on trees? Would we have somebody hiding behind a bush? You know, like what's the most effective way so it doesn't look fake? And so Jill and Mike Ferry and I are going through these, you know, cycles in our brain trying to like debunk this stuff. And you get to a point where you're just like, we can't debunk it, you know? And Todd Neese saw those same lights on a different occasion, and he and I compared notes, and it was eerie, you know, what he was saying and what I was saying to him. So it is what it is, you know. I mean, and I always leave the door open that much, you know.
You gotta let it in.
Yeah. So
it happens. It comes in anyway. You might as well let it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That was the thing with the Mothman with the big red eyes, and everybody's like, I know it's a sandhill crane's forehead. I'm like, feathers don't glow for one thing, and it's that far apart. Yeah. Yeah. And there was one instance in the TNT factory, one of the Mothman witnesses saw the eyes in her mind on the wall. No one else saw it.
Really?
Yeah, it speaks like they're investigating, kind of just doing like a spur of the moment kind of thing. John Keel was involved, and she just starts screaming. And it was one of the original witnesses, I believe, one of the Mallet ladies. And she's like, I saw it. And like she said, there's big red eyes on that wall, but no one else saw it. There was nothing flew out. So it kind of has that internal kind of thing, like the mind speak, put it in front of you, hallucination.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all the same phenomenon.
Oh yeah. There's no question about it. If they can get into your mind and speak to you, they can also manipulate your vision. There's no question.
I saw one guy from Missouri I was talking to said that he came to him as a woman in his mind, and talked to him like they were trying to like be as, you know, the lowest common denominator they could to get his attention.
Interesting.
And I was thinking, like, did it look like the Mars Attacks woman that came in there chewing on the nitrogen gum? You know?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You know, like
what'd you do, Ray?
Yeah, exactly.
What did you do,
Ray?
Ray, what did you do? So, do you encounter a lot of UFO crossover in your investigations? I know you just went to Peru. That's a big place. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Actually, we did talk to a few people down there in Peru we didn't interview them. We just spoke to them kind of candidly, and they say they see lights all the time. It's kind of a constant thing down there. And I've got other, you know, friends or associates that have been deep into Peru and have done some investigating on face peelers and stuff. And what they found was
what country was the moment of contact in that just came out like a year
Brazil.
ago? Brazil. That's right.
Yeah.
I was thinking that was a good one.
Brazil has got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, as far as like across contamination or pollination or whatever you want to call it of UFOs and Bigfoot, yeah, I mean, there's one thing that sticks out to me that's really kind of freaky. Are you familiar with that book, The 33rd Parallel?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so it's basically this this idea that
a lot.
There's a lot of paranormal stuff happening on the 33rd Parallel, or on ley lines. And so, Tobe Johnson, Daryl Adams have had this Al Moon wilderness stuff, and they've had everything there. They've had UFOs. I mean, Daryl has seen white Tic Tacs in the middle of the day. They've got these things that Daryl calls chandeliers that'll drop things. They'll drop little glowy lights into the woods. And at the same time, a few hours later, they'll hear a Bigfoot scream. So earlier in 2021, maybe it was 2020, I can't recall. But anyways, it was a few years ago. Jill and Mike and I went out to Eastern Oregon, and we did an investigation on a mutilated cow. And I wanted to see if there was any correlation between that cow and the Al Moon Wilderness. And so I went onto a map, and I literally drew a straight line to where that dead cow was sitting and the Al Moon Wilderness. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. It couldn't have been more straight. So as if the UFO took off and went into autopilot, landed, and mutilated a cow. Coincidence? Maybe. Probably not. So I don't know. I mean, there's definitely something there.
Could be, there's a big correlation about quartz and sightings. I think one of the guys on there was talking about how you end up in another reality just from the resonance from the ground rock. Could be quartz and crystal in the ground. And one documentarian I hang out with a lot, Greg Ogles. I know you've heard of him at least once.
Oh yeah,
his like whole stance is quartz. Because anywhere you find quartz, you find this stuff. And Tara said the home planet of the, what does she call them, the Aeolus. Yeah. The home planet was full of that crystal rock.
Yeah.
Makes me think it's probably a lot similar to quartz, and that's how they do a lot of their movement back and forth. And it really speaks to the Appalachians being home to a lot of this crap, because it is nothing but limestone and quartz. Yeah, limestone, quartz, and caves. So they've got plenty of places to live, hang out. Of course, Jill and I were huge fans of Hellier in that series and what those guys have been doing. Greg and Dana. But yeah, the quartz thing is definitely a major factor. The Sierra camp where Ron Moorhead and the Johnsons have had all of their experiences. We were up there last summer, and there's quartz everywhere. It's quartz and granite. And it's like, David Pilates talks a lot about granite and how granite factors into a lot of the missing 411 cases. So, I mean, literally there's no question in my mind that there's some sort of a correlation. Oregon does not have a lot of quartz. Oregon does not have a lot of granite, at least in the northern portion of it. Yet we still have a lot of the same, phenomena. What Oregon has that's a little different is Oregon has like magnetized lava beds and stuff. So that feels like it's kind of the same type of maybe thing or energy or something. Yeah, I can see where that obsidian would be equivalent to is receiving that kind of signal. Because even in Game of Thrones, it's what killed the White Walkers, so it's got to have some kind of power. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Scientific. But you can see, because it does lead to like, no shit, Middle Earth. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's just wide open. It's like a whole country of just nothing up there. Yeah. Forest and everything else. Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, there's so many weird things up there. I mean, just not 40 miles from me as the crow flies. You can get spots where if you have a compass, it just spins, Really? And granted, magnetism can do funny things with your head too.
because we have magnetite receptors in our brain. Studies have shown that if you apply magnets to bruises and to cuts and stuff like that, you can heal them faster. So there's definitely a power associated with them. And, we probably just don't have in society, I guess, maybe in private industry, we don't have the technology to harness that energy the way that the ETs might, or a Bigfoot or a Mothman or some other type of cryptid knows how to utilize that.
I think we're close to it on the military level.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think they probably at least tapped into it a little bit.
Yeah. But look at Japan has had maglev trains, which I've ridden on myself. They've had those since the 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about a train that levitates. And it's unlike any other experience before. If you've ridden an old train before, it's just, it's old technology. And you ride one of those bullet trains, those maglev trains, man, it's like you could feel like you're floating, and that's just all magnetic energy, so it's like, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
It's like 1% of 1% of how the Tic Tacs work.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
I was listening to Art Bell the other day, talking to the time traveler that came back.
Oh yeah.
He was talking about how he jumped through his Tesla coil from like 40 feet up in his warehouse and jumped through his Tesla coil and came out in Ohio 2 years later. Couldn't remember shit because of the magnetites in his brain.
Yeah.
When you said that, I was like, I forgot about that.
We were trying to get a hold of that guy. In fact, I have his email.
What's his name? Madman Mark or something?
Madman Mark. Yeah. He lives in
Texas.
I shouldn't say where he lives. He does not live in the continental United States. Let me put it that way. So that leaves Alaska or Hawaii. He lives in one of those states.
Guam.
But we're potentially hoping to talk to him about doing a documentary, which he's somewhat open to. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We have too much on the plate right now to do it, but maybe sometime in the near future.
That's such a good Art Bell episode. It's 2 hours long, and Art's just like, he's making him explain every detail, which I like about it.
I miss Art Bell, man.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Art Bell. I really do.
Somebody was suggesting I do like article reads and try to roast them, kind of like Art Bell used to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. I mean, I'd have to do like 4 or 5 in a row and then take the best of those.
Right.
I sit here and get distracted.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
But if that guy did that in the 90s, or, well, it wasn't even the 90s, was it? It was a long time ago.
Yeah, no, it was mid-90s.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong then. My memory is working.
Yeah. No, he was on the air. Well, I don't know when he started.
It happened in 98 because he came out in 2000.
Okay.
It came out in Ohio in 2000.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, because I was listening to him in the mid-90s. I was working like a newspaper route job while I was going to college. And so, I'd listen to Art Bell the entire time I was tossing papers out my window in my car. I drive like 50 miles a night.
Sounds like the good old days right there.
Oh, man, I tell you what.
Before dark, before daylight, listen to Art Bell, scaring the hell out of you a little bit.
Seriously, because you're driving around in the country. It's pitch black. I'll never forget one night. I had no concept of this until just a few years ago. But one night I was driving to the paper station where you pick up these newspapers, you'd roll them up, you'd stuff them in paper bags, and you toss them in your car. And the whole back seat of my car and my trunk would be filled with paper. But anyways, I'm driving down the local highway, and I go around a corner. And as I go around the corner, a softball size white orb went flying past me.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know, it's like I didn't know how to describe it until like really within the last few years. Then I put everything together. I was like, that's what I saw. I saw an orb. And it was kind of a dull light, but it just went like whoosh, like it was in the other lane. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's like something off of Ghostbusters again.
Yeah.
You parked at a red light and a ghost flies by you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's a scene in Close Encounters of the Third Kind where they're like up on a hill and Barry's chasing them off these UFOs off a cliff, and there's one straggler that's kind of like it was just like that. It was like the little straggler UFO, like staying in his lane. It was so strange.
That's a movie that I love a lot.
Favorite, yeah.
And a lot of it comes from John Keel from the book. The guy that when the scene where Richard Dreyfuss gets burned by looking out of his car. It's actually a scene from the Mothman book.
Is it really?
It mentions him. I'd have to look it up, but
no idea.
Yeah, he mentions him in there because the conjunctivitis, the welding burns, that was something you get if you looked at Mothman, and he can he could glow and burn you a little bit. And burn your retinas.
Really?
That's what whenever you're looking at the Mothman prophecies, the movie you're talking about. You know the scene where the kids get burned.
Yeah, like that's. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it. Yeah, but
that's one of the cases. But they didn't die on the bridge like they did in the movie. Okay. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Mothman prophecies from 2002. A lot of similarities there, and when it comes to like Mothman being a harbinger, I don't know about all that. I think maybe a portal opened up, and not a portal, but it got thin because of all the negativity. I'm not real sure. They didn't really explain any hypotheses as to why this entity was being seen there when all this stuff was happening. It seemed like Mothman was like tassel on a tree, and the tree was the Men in Black and UFO, but we're focusing on the tassel.
Yeah.
Or the tinsel, not tassel, not the corn.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But hasn't Mothman made a lot of appearances like near the Chicago airport?
Yeah, it got a resurgence because somebody said they saw one. There's a big graveyard in the Chicago airport, O'Hare. And one of the night crew said they saw it. But I've had a bunch of people on here I've had Tobias Whalen from Unsolved Mysteries, Barnaby Jones, and I've talked to a couple other ones who are there's like a Mount Rushmore of Lake Michigan Mothman.
Yeah, Lon Strickler's the other guy, right?
He's one of them. Yeah, but they kind of look at the evidence. They can't find any of the witnesses. Nobody can go back and find any. Nobody's there to corroborate.
Oh, really?
None of the facts corroborate at all for the Chicago, for the least of the airport one.
Interesting.
And people say a lot of mean things about the story that was given to them about it because they're like, we can't find anything. None of the witnesses will answer. None of the witnesses exist. They can't even find proof that the guy that worked at the airport, I may be speaking out, but like that he even existed. I could be wrong there, but like
weird.
Like Barnaby and Tobias, they got mad about it. They're like, we can't find a thing.
Weird.
Barnaby Jones even tried to get a job at the airport for 2 months as a night security person just to try to see if he could look up some of this stuff.
Wow.
He said he got 2 interviews and never got called back or something like that. I said, so you were just going to live there? He goes, yeah, I was going to work there a month and live with my friend and then quit. But but they can't find anything. And Tobias is diligent. I don't know if you know him or not.
No, I
heard him. Yeah, he was on the Unsolved Mysteries, the new one.
Okay.
About Mothman.
Which I thought was excellent, by the way. I thought that was a really, really well done episode.
Yeah, that was him. He was the little skinnier white fella.
Okay.
That was on there with Lon.
Okay.
But I haven't talked to Lon about this just yet. Don't know if I will. It's kind of getting in the 11th hour, and I think you're probably my 10th interview. I only need 12. Doing good, but yeah, it's Chicago Mothman. I've even got I pull my notes up here because I made such good ones for that particular subject. It'll frustrate you because it's story after. I don't know if you've even heard the original Mothman stories. You know that they're at the TNT factory and they run away from it in a car.
Oh yeah, in
Point Pleasant.
In Point Pleasant, yeah.
The OG Mothman story.
Yeah.
Well, there's none of that because everybody's a pedestrian, for one thing. There's none of those stories. It's always I walked out and there he was. Oh my God, I'm running back to the house. And it's that times 100. Or
really?
Yeah, or it was in a tree. Or and it almost seems like it turned into the thing with the drones. Everybody that saw anything, it's a drone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no beginning, no end. There's no thing that happened that may have brought him in. There's no it doesn't fit into a bow like the Point Pleasant Mothman. You got November 66. The shit happened at the TNT factory we were just talking about. December 67 bridge. You couldn't make a movie about Land of Lakes, the butter moth, the Lake Michigan Mothman, because nothing happens.
Yeah,
I even bring some receipts here. See, there was a couple of floods within a couple of years, and that was the only thing you could find. Let me see. 660 murders in 2017. 2017 was the heyday of the Chicago. And I looked it up. That was a light year, so that didn't count. Historic flooding, July 11th. It flooded some homes. And then the bloody 4th of July with 102 shot. And I looked it up. That was also a light year. So like one of these facts harbinge. I don't know if they were just maybe Mothman likes Lake Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no correlation to anything.
The lake, I wouldn't shock me if the lake had some kind of attraction, like the obsidian and the quartz.
That's possible. Did any of those, I don't remember from the Unsolved Mysteries episode or not, but there was that woman that was like taking out her trash or something. Mm-hmm. Did any of these people have mind speak or anything else?
Maybe one of them I think a lot of them just got chased and felt fear. That's a lot of what Mothman is just, he doesn't run away. He makes sure he sees you and he makes sure he scares you.
Right.
That's we both got tuberculosis here.
Yeah, I know. It's like hitting you.
But the Mothman in Point Pleasant was real bad about, he would chase your car and follow you, never flap their wings.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of tells me that they have power or ability.
Has anyone seen them in the air, flying through the air?
They see them. A lot of the one from the one you're talking about on Unsolved Mysteries. What's her name? Janet. God, I would know it. But she was the one from Point Pleasant. She saw it flying. It landed on the hood, but they never flapped.
Oh, okay.
Lafayette Laporte. Yeah, her name's Laporte.
Uh-huh.
I've even talked to her on the messenger too.
It's he's like Batman.
Yeah, it just
he glides and it's like lands and then he doesn't even put his wings down though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Mothman just flies and they try to make it into an animal. There was like an exotic owl that was missing at the time.
Yeah.
And everybody tried to make it that. I'm like, well, you would think, an owl can only be so big. An owl's not going to be 7 foot tall. An owl's not going to.
Yeah.
And there was the one lady that saw it like 5 foot from her, standing there. And she landed on her baby.
Jeez.
She was holding her baby, turned around, there it was, and she fell forward.
Wow.
But like the Bigfoot eyes, they're this far apart.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. No, they're gigantic. Are you aware of any Mothman sightings on the West Coast or even west of the Rockies?
I think the ones over there get contributed to something else. Like they got the Lechuza, the Hispanic cryptid.
Huh. Not familiar with that. I know Chupacabra, of course, but
that's the goat sucker. Lechuza is the Thunderbird.
Okay.
I think they get attributed to that because when Mothman first came out, it was called the Bird. It wasn't ever.
Oh.
The it was 66.
Uh-huh.
And the term Mothman was coined by a newspaper writer who called it Mothman because Batman was popular at the time.
Oh, okay.
The original title was The Year of the Garula, which means big bird.
It's interesting, Bobby, are you familiar with the bat squatch?
Mm-hmm.
We've got the bat squatch out here. And it's never crossed my mind that might be some sort of correlation with Mothman.
I mean, that's probably the version. That's what Mothman is, a bat squatch.
Yeah.
They say that it has the bat wings, never feathered like St. Michael or something.
Yeah.
But giant. The depiction behind us here in the video is inaccurate about what everybody saw. Not one person saw a giant bug.
I haven't been coughing all day until just now.
Yeah, this is awful. Yeah, I even brought water back here.
It's powers. It's like when you see somebody else yawn, it makes you want to yawn. So you're seeing me cough, and it's making you want to cough. All I know is that I've got a shameless plug for my friend Ryan Skinner, who sent me these cool. Ryan, if you're watching, he's got these like tape things. I don't know if he's going to bring it to market, but he sent me a couple of these, and so they.
I was the
sniffers. You kind of like they kind of clear up the nasal passage. So Ryan, thank you. I love mine, and I use it all the time, even more so now that I've been.
You know what I just thought about? I started recording this with Seth Ward. He's one of the employees at the Mothman Museum. And I can't remember when we did that, but every time I've done a Mothman episode, I've had the awfulest coughs. And I've had to cough since I started this. Yeah. I mean, I've had cough off and on, but it gets worse during these episodes.
Strange.
Cough man is what I'm going to start calling it.
Yeah.
I was bringing it up that you mentioned Mothman on the West Coast. In history, the Egyptian god Horus, falcon head, bird-like characteristics. Native Americans had thunderbirds. I don't want to call it the ancient, couldn't be ancient Hispanics because they weren't Spanish yet, but the Mexicans, so Central Americans, South Americans had the lechuza. That was a giant bird.
Okay.
And around the world, they had the Owl Man of Cornwall. That was in the UK. That just sounds British. The Owl Man of Cornwall.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Man-Dragon of Japan.
The Man-Dragon. Sounds like a Marvel character, man.
An adult film, the Man-Dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've got tons of notes here. You start digging into this, pound for pound, Mothman's more interesting than Bigfoot. Just especially if you condense it down just to Point Pleasant. So much.
Well, yeah. What I love about Mothman is there's still that big time mystery to it, where Bigfoot sightings are so plentiful, I guess you could say, in every state that there's mystery to it, but at the same time it's like if you've heard a Bigfoot story, you're always going to hear a variation thereof, kind of thing. Mothman just seems to be, I don't know, man. There's just something really eerie about Mothman,
and it's never pleasant. No one's ever like, I felt just comfort around Mothman. I wanted him to. Nobody ever gives Mothman apples.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that happens all the time with Bigfoot. Yeah,
which is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah. Don't feed the animals. Don't feed the Mothman.
When in your Bigfoot investigations, have you ever dealt with government involvement? I.e., kind of like the Mothman had the Men in Black coming around. You ever dealt with like black helicopters, SUVs? Or heard about them anyway?
Yes, we've definitely heard about them. We know they're there. We have government. We have folks that we've been talking to that work for the government. One of which we featured in our film. A few others don't want to be featured in anything, even if we block their faces and change their voices. But they need an outlet, and so they need somebody to talk to. Have we been cased? Have we seen the black SUVs? Not really. We have had some, there's been another instance, but I'm not going to talk about it on the air because it was a little weird. That happened to a friend of ours here locally as a direct of them seeing this individual in one of our films. And so they essentially showed up at his house and asked him some questions. It was a mixture of local and federal government folks. I'll leave that at that. I do assume that at any point, whether I'm doing your podcast or anything else, that they're listening and observing.
I hope so. I'll take all the listeners I can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Reason I ask you on here.
Yeah. So,
Agent James,
they're out there. They're out there, and they're I used to work for. I used to be a contractor for the Department of Defense for a few years myself, so I know some of this stuff. I was never in the military or anything else, but I learned quickly and went to some crazy places in the world with some really interesting CIA people and saw some weird stuff. But So I just know what they can use, how, different devices, so on and so forth. It doesn't, it's like, I don't have anything to hide. Jill doesn't have, nobody,
Mm-hmm.
we're just trying to look for answers like everybody else. So
it's weird. You cross that woo-woo barrier, for lack of a better term, and all of a sudden problems start arising.
Yeah. It certainly is possible. It's, what's interesting is it's like Rich Germeau says. He says, he feels like they know everything they need to know about this kind of stuff because he doesn't know a single Bigfoot researcher who's been contacted by them asking questions. And I think that's a pretty valid hypothesis.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I always try to, that's like my next level of interest is the government involvement in it. And do they know? And if we can't find them with our just the gear we can get on Amazon, which I think yours is a little more sophisticated than that, but us as civvies can only get so much. It makes you wonder what they have, because they can, you got all the spectrums they got. You think that eventually they'll hit a frequency that lets you see everything that's lurking out there.
Oh yeah. I think they probably have that. I really do. I absolutely do. I think that I think their satellites have those capabilities. I think that the satellites that they have that are monitoring for terrorist activities can also be utilized to monitor paranormal activities. And I have some sort of confirmation of that, sort of. But if you have an electromagnetic pulse that goes off in any town USA, you could either associate that with terrorist activities or associate that with paranormal activities. Satellite's not going to differentiate. So it could be an explanation as to why some of the eyewitnesses that we've talked to have had, orb sightings, and then, not much more than an hour later, half hour later, black SUVs show up, that kind of a thing, because they're just getting alerts. It's big government, ring cameras, if you will.
Yeah, they don't see anything but the frequency. They don't know what's happening.
Exactly. They're seeing a spike, something like that. They're getting anomaly warning messages.
Like they always talk about the test ranges, Fort Bragg, things like that, where they go out and say, if you see one, don't mess with it, but they're not out there.
Yeah.
Michael, why'd you bring it up?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And up by us, there's all kinds of rumors that they're at Fort Lewis, which is a joint military base. So, and Fort Lewis is just west of Mount Rainier.
Oh, it's the big one.
Seattle. It's huge. Yeah. There's a lot of acreage out on Fort Lewis. We've interviewed another guy who swears that he was told by his college roommate that his father was a physicist at Lawrence Livermore Laboratory in the Bay Area of California, and that they had Bigfoot captured, and they were actually being contained in Faraday cages.
Yeah, that was kind of leading up to my next question. What's the general consensus with their hiding abilities? Is it cloaking or is it frequency?
There's
other than Terra.
There's two different schools of thought on that. I believe that we have proof that they cloak with Barb Shoop's video that we featured in Flash Beauty Paranormal Bigfoot, and then we've actually interviewed. I don't know if you've seen the interview or not, but we interviewed Joel Hynek, who invented the predator effect. He won an Oscar for What Dreams Become, but he invented the predator effect, the cloaking effect.
I saw you had some of my friends on there. No, that's not you. That was Jeremiah, who was in Alabama. But you had Mark Green on there, friend of mine.
Sorry, what's that?
You had Mark Green on Flash of Beauty not too long ago.
Yeah. Mark's a great guy.
He's from down here. He's always at the meetings we go to.
We had a great time with Mark, but
far from me.
Joel Hynek was like, essentially his analysis was, you could fake it, you could do it, but there's a lot of things in here that don't add up, but it's like frequency. I think frequency is a huge part of it. I think frequency vibrations line up with quantum mechanics. People are like, I don't know about that. Well, it's like look at a propeller, or look at a helicopter on a plane. You see it, it's solid, it's there. You can walk up and touch it, but once that thing starts spinning, it's invisible. It's not there anymore.
Don't stick your hand in it.
Yeah, exactly. And
why does it look like it's going backwards sometimes? It's another conversation.
You mean like on a phone or something like that? On a video recording?
No, like you ever been going down the road and look at a car next to you and their hubcaps looks like they're going backwards? That's weird too. That's optical illusion.
It's an optical illusion of some sort.
It's like the shutter speed of your eye.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and our eyes are not, we don't have but I think a lot of people think we're like, oh, we're human beings. We got the best eyes in the world. No, we're way down the totem pole on the best eyes in the animal kingdom.
I've got the Helen Keller of eyes. I mean, they're terrible.
Yeah.
I get really frustrated at scientists, i.e. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Kind of. I mean, I love science a lot. It's a lot. Half of my guests lately have been some kind of ologist. But he can sit around and talk for hours in a smoke circle about quarks and phasars and the simulation. And he goes, you could take a meteor, okay, put it over here, okay. You know how he is. Explain all of this and believe in the Big Bang, but a being that could operate at a different frequency. Well, I just don't have the proof. Dude, you are on acid without being on acid most of your career.
Yeah. I am so.
And I love the guy to death.
Yeah. No, I am so with you on that. I really am.
Like it's not, as they always tell you that science is always evolving, but they will not entertain the fact that it could evolve that way. Even though half of their theories are quarks and phasars and the God particle and whatever that theory is, or if you observe a light particle, it goes one or two directions. Or if you don't observe it, it goes all of them. Or I could have that backwards. That's freaky. Like
Schrodinger's cat theory. Yeah. Like it doesn't exist if you don't see it, if you don't observe it, but it does exist if you do. I can't keep track of them all. Quantum entanglement, you know what I mean? How you can manipulate one molecule here, and then the other molecule could be on Pluto, and it's going to react instantaneously. Like, you're telling me that that's not paranormal activity?
That's the definition. Like 100 years ago, it would have been considered sorcery. You'd have been burned.
Well, exactly. Most of this stuff was. I mean, if we were to go back in time 100 years ago with our iPhones, we would definitely be burned at the stake. It's just, and that's really what it comes down to. Is it comes down to the fact that, I think there's a lot of scientific breakthroughs that have happened out there that the government knowing about ETs, so on and so forth, where scientists or whoever's in charge is going, no, humans aren't ready for it yet, can't comprehend it.
That makes me so mad to know that somebody knows. Can you imagine just going to work every day, putting your little badge to the gate guard, bloop, okay, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And you're going in and you just go hang out with an alien or a body or the thing that Bob Lazar saw, that big sphere that he couldn't tap into.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was just going to use Bob as an example. I mean, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people in this country every single day that have gone to work like that for decades. That I had a friend. I asked him what his dad did one day, and he's like, the only thing that I know that my dad does, the only thing that he ever would tell me, is that he maintains peaceful communications between us and them. Us and them who? The aliens? He goes, that's kind of what he told me, but he couldn't tell me anything else. I said, did he tell your mom? Nope. Can't tell my mom anything.
Nope.
And that was that. And, I had no reason not to believe him. He couldn't provide any proof, but he lived in the DC area. So he lived in the right place, and his father was very smart. So who knows?
It'll make you really mad to think about why we can't know. Like, you would think there could be some kind of controlled release, or maybe if we do know, I'll be destroyed. It's that kind of NDA. Yeah,
exactly. But I think people also need to remember that some of that is on them, not on us. That's by directive. You know, that's some of that is the ETs going, we don't, you know, we've got a plan. You humans aren't ready. You're too childish, whatever you want to call it, too immature. You know, that's where the Men in Black come in and that type of stuff.
I already asked you about the Men in Black and with the Bigfoot world. I wondered if it would ever be revealed. If I don't think it would. I know the Mothman never will be because it comes around too sporadically. It's kind of like a vacations here. It doesn't hang out a lot.
Yeah. Who knows? 100 years from now, you know, it might not be any sort of big deal. It might be what like gorillas used to be in like the 1800s. You know, they were just as mystical and crazy as aliens and anything else. You know, people didn't believe in them.
Mm-hmm. Platypus.
Yeah, exactly.
That the Lost Coast tapes, whenever it shows the silhouette of the Sasquatch walking by and the camera trips out. I think that's the best example of what we're dealing with. Yeah,
exactly. It's they're advanced humans, like Mel Scahound says in our film. They're the most advanced type of human. You know, and more likely than not, human beings are the combination between some dumb ape and some alien, and we were like dialed way back. You know, like all right, let's not make them too smart. You know, and some of us, like Einstein, slip through the cracks. And occasionally there'll be that kid on Ripley's Believe It or Not who's got 4 college degrees and is, you know, 6-7 years old. But for the rest of us, the programming was, you know, we're just like little useless computers, kind of, you know, cogs in the machine. And the Bigfoot and some of these other beings out there are the ones that are pure.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, that they were the original strain before the quote unquote Anunnaki got hold of us. Yeah. Made us into a gold searching race.
Yeah. Slaves. Yeah.
That's why they love us so much. That's why we love gold so much.
Well,
me booty. I knew what I was going to mention a little earlier. We're wrapping up now, but the gateway process, CIA. Have you heard of that?
I haven't heard much about it. No.
It basically says that like we're in a simulation and thoughts can become particles, and they proved it. I did a little 10-minute documentary on it and just read it. I'm like, this is incredible. And
oh wow.
And a lot of it you can test. But the fact that that's real, it tells me it's not a far-fetched at all. Like, it's almost easier to believe that there's a native human that can hide behind a tree and then disappear behind that tree. Yeah. If that's real.
I believe all that stuff. I truly do. I've had it happen to me multiple times. I mean, hundreds of times. You know, just manifesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you're creating energy. You've got firing electrons in your brain that's going out into the ether. It gets out there. It makes perfect sense.
It even states that you want it to happen at a natural rate as to not destroy your reality, because if you try to force it too fast, it'll destroy your reality. Yeah. And that's kind of explains like the monkey's paw effect. Yeah. Like, I want to be a millionaire, and then like your mom gets hit by a tractor trailer on the interstate, gets a settlement, and all of a sudden you're a millionaire. But it's I do it. I say no monkey's paw stuff, man. No monkey's paw. All positive. You slip at Walmart, you can't walk again, but you're a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just like the guy from Office Space. At least you could be as lucky as I am. Yeah. Dreams do come true. That'd be amazing. All right, Brett, you've been a great sport. Thanks for coming on here.
Hey, absolutely, man. It was a pleasure chatting with you, Bobby.
I hate to, whenever I had Tobe and Jill on here, that you couldn't be here as well, because that was a fun one.
I felt bad. I was like, I think I had COVID or something.
Yeah, you were nearly dead.
Yeah.
We thought you were dead.
I am a healthy person, man. I swear to you. Like, these are like the 2 times that I've been sick. So, but I mean, obviously I'm feeling a lot better. I sound worse than I feel like. And
I'm going to go back and look at these episodes. I'm coughing in every one of them. I'm like, I don't know what's up with that.
It happens.
I got the Point Pleasant sniffles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd love to come back sometime soon, and hopefully we'll be back in. You're in Huntsville area.
I'm in Huntsville.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I work on the base with the where they brought Warner Von Braun.
Oh, no way! I think that's the same base that Tim Baker used to work on.
It was.
Yeah. Do you know Tim
Kumbo? Yeah,
good guy.
He's from over there in the other side of the state.
Yeah, he's up there near Muscle Shoals. Yeah.
We here in Huntsville, it's hard to get over there. There's no highways.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got to go down 72, and it's all red lights. Like 4-lane, but it's red lights.
Ugh.
So you don't go to Muscle Shoals very often.
Yeah.
Just on field trips to see Helen Keller's house.
I've been there. I went in there. I saw Helen Keller's house. Pretty cool in Tuscumbia. Cool place. Yeah. Well, hey man, like I said, love to be back sometime. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
How did Helen Keller's parents punish her?
I don't know if I want to know.
They rearranged the furniture.
Terrible.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming by. I'm going to end the recording.